morning, good afternoon, good night, Miss Marito, whenever you have the pleasure of viewing this amazing video. My name is Christian Alamana, and this is my partner,
Huh? I'm Harrison Kim.
and we did our project-based assessment on single
Single
player
player
versus
versus
multiplayer
multiplayer.
game.
Yay.
Hey, Vsauce, Filipino here. Have you ever wondered if changing the wording of a question creates response bias? Well, I sure have, because that's what our surveys are going to answer today.
Woo. So in Form A, we asked the simple question of whether people would rather enjoy a single player or multiplayer game. There's no bias involved. It is the complete bare bones question, and the results show that the majority of the people enjoy multiplayer games over single player games. Due to the lack of information bias, we can infer that the population much preferred single player games because of the social aspects that those types of games bring, as opposed to single player games which are meant to be played just by yourself.
And on Form B, we actually added information bias to our question. And instead of simply asking what type of game they prefer, we added information that favors single player games over multiplayer games.
So to better explain this question, I decided to use Star Wars ships as an example. Do you prefer this premium class Slave One ship owned by a cool bounty hunter dude that can do whatever he wants? Or do you want this smelly piece of junk, the Millennium Falcon, that's used by like 10 people and it's all cramped and stuff, and it just kind of smells bad?
But due to the information bias, we could assume that a lot more people chose single player games because of how we said that it provided a more peaceful and relaxing experience, whereas multiplayer games were a lot more competitive and stressful. With this extra information, we actually had closer to half of the population vote for single player games instead. With the results, 57% for multiplayer, and 42% of the people preferring, 43% actually, preferring single player games. In conclusion, our surveys were able to create a response bias as seen by the results gathered. In the first form, majority of the population favored multiplayer games. However, when we altered the wording of the questions where it heavily supported single-player games, more people answered in support for the said single-player games, therefore balancing out the responses compared to the other form.
Here are top 10 ways that we can change our question. Number 10, we can expand the variety of our responses by asking a wider population rather than just limiting our choices by only asking our school. Number 9, we could create bias for multiplayer instead and see if anyone would have voted for single player at all. Number 8, we could have chosen a different prompt because it seemed like regardless of the bias to single player in Form B, more people still voted for multiplayer. Yeah, that's it. I don't know what comes after 8.
Alright, that'll do it for our project-based assessment. We hope you enjoyed it, Mr. Marita, and once again, I'm Christian Alamana. This is my partner.
Harrison.
And yeah!
Man, I could just edit this in. Come on, bro.